guys, welcome to today's episode of All Things Mazda. As you can see, I'm already dirty, and that means I'm working on a car. Not mine specifically, but I have a customer's car. It's a 2010 Mazdaspeed 3. Came in for an engine swap. Went ahead and removed a few stuff already. Got the bumper off, got everything out of here, the intake, the battery. So this side is clear to go. So the only thing that's left is for me to get the coolant lines out of the way. That way I can pull this harness behind the radiator, drain the rest of what's left out of the radiator, and pull the front end, and yeah, should be ready to come out. This engine has a hole in the block, I believe, from what customers tell me. So I'm putting in his old backup engine that he has from his Gen 1 when I already pulled it out. Yeah, so what we're doing, this one is unique. So he's using the Gen 1 Speed 3 transmission because the transmission in this one has a bad synchro in second gear, so he doesn't want to use that, and he wants to use the Gen 1. And yes, you can interchange between both gens in the transmission. The only difference is the Gen 2 has a taller gearing from factory, and the Gen 1 has a shorter gearing. The final drive on the Gen 1 is 3.941, and the final drive on the Gen 2 is 4.19, I believe. So the Gen 2 is slightly taller, and Gen 1 is slightly shorter. But you can still interchange both of them. You can still run them, vice versa. The only difference, if you're running Gen 1 transmission on a Gen 2, you will need to get your tuner to change the final drive and the tune. That way the speedometer can match the final drive, and your speedometer will not be off. But other than that, vice versa too. If you put a Gen 2 and a Gen 1, you gotta do the same thing. I did it in my car. I'm not going to do much filming because I'm trying to get this done on a shorter time frame. So apologize if you guys don't get much filming content. I'll try to do more in future videos, but I just need to get this one done for the customer and be ready for the next car that I need to work on. The front end is all out, and yeah, this is the bent rod, and that found its way out of the block. It fell right out when I pulled the front end, and as you can see right in here, that's the nice size hole right there. This thing really exploded. Yeah, almost ready to come right out. So the only thing that is left is to pull the passenger side mount and the driver side mount. I've already removed the axles from both sides. I've got the axle from this side is already out, and I already have the axle from the driver's side that's already out as well too. So the easiest way that I found to do this is, I mean, you can always pull the axle completely if you want, but I like making my life a little more easier. So what I did, I just put the strut out of the knuckle. That allows the entire knuckle to swing right out. That way you can pop the axle from the transmission. That's pretty much all you need. Once you remove it from the transmission, it can just hang right there. It won't get in the way of anything. But make sure you move everything out of the way, like the speed sensor. Take the bolt out and take the control arm, take the tie rod, everything out of there. That way you can have more room. So especially the brake line as well too. Just be careful of the brake line. Just make sure it's not between stretch. And as you can see, we have a lot of slack right here, and that's because this is getting support by that. I have an extra set of jack stands. Now just leave it on there, doesn't get in the way. So that's the way that I like to do mine. I don't know how most people like. You can just remove it if it'll make your life easier, but to me, it's a lot easier that way. I found the issue why this car threw a rod, and see that hole right there? This is supposed to be right attached to that. and all the cracks on the downpipe. So most likely the previous owner overboosted and they sent the rod through the block. So yeah, that'll do. So you guys always check the car, check the downpipes. If you have any overboosting issues, always make sure you fix that, address it, don't ignore it, because it can end up like this engine. It has another hole on the back of the block too. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get a nice light. Yes, yeah, right there. See that hole? So it blew from both the front and the rear. So most likely 30 PSI boost and adios rods. Installing the Damon PCV plate with a Damon vented catch can. The catch can right here is the vented catch can, and comes with all the lines that you need in the mounting bracket. And you have the plate with a new PCV. All right, she's in. Everything is in there. And what I like to do, I like to get like a little 90 plastic PCV tube. That way I can just put the hoses right there on there. Makes your life a lot more easier for the hose, so that way you can actually extend it to wherever you want to. Because on the kit, it doesn't include one of these plastic things. So you just have to find one of those from Home Depot. Makes your life a little more easier, and that way you don't have this tube making a sharp bend around to where you want it to be mounted. But I mean, you can always do it that way as well too if you want, whichever way works for you. But this is the way I like doing it. I like having that 90 over here. Same with the kit includes all of this. So this is from the kit. See the same 90 that's on the kit? You can do the same thing for the PCB plate. That way this thing can sit flush on the plate. So when you put the stock intake manifold on there, it sits flush on there. And this line wouldn't get in the way of anything. Should in case you needed to do any work around that area, including like pulling the starter or something like that, you'll have more room because this line is now flexible. And if you mount it, you can just move things around. So I'm almost there. I'm almost done buttoning this car up. Right now, the only thing that's left to do is just to put the front end on, put the front intercooler on, and yeah, get ready to fire it up. So right now what I'm doing is installing this JBR crash bar that he had. And I didn't really film much in terms of like installations because this is pretty much straightforward. If you take your old crash bar out, pretty much all you need to do is just utilize those bolts, like these 10mm bolts that you'll find holding the radiator. Just reuse them. But it does come with like an extra bolt with some spacer for this side as well too. So it's pretty straightforward that I didn't really need to be filming because it really doesn't make any sense. So right now I just need to finish this side up. Already got this spacer on and just need to finish that last one before just get everything out. So, and it's also kind of like difficult to do this while filming at the same time. So I'll put the camera down and finish that up real quick. It's another day and I'm still working on this black car. Ran into a few issues that was really giving me a whole lot of headache, and I got everything put back together. Went to start the car didn't want to start. I don't know why, I don't know what was going on, so I did some more digging through to see what I can find, and I couldn't find anything at all why this car was bugging out, because everything was plugged. Checked all my grounds, checked for fuel and checked for spark, and I went ahead and changed the crank sensor, make sure the engine's in time, make sure everything else is fine. I couldn't find anything. I changed every single plug that I can find that can relate to the issue. Couldn't find anything at all. So I moved on to like grounding, checked all my grounds. All my grounds were fine. I doubled up on some grounding wires just to get a little more strength. I still wouldn't fire it up. So I was kind of lost yesterday, and I didn't do much filming because I was frustrated trying to get everything going again, because literally everything that I found was all intact. So I left it at that, and came back again last night. And what I did, I pulled the fuel pump, cleaned the hell out of the fuel pump, changed all the seals with Michael Ray's fuel pump seals. These little bad boys from Ray Mazda Parts. Yeah, you got everything that you need right here. There's a connector right here. There was a broken wire that's underneath the intercooler, like a nice broken wire, and I believe that was the issue. That was definitely the issue, because I looked through these wires. This is the old ECU from the Gen 1, and the harness as well too. So I went ahead and cut one of the wires from here, and I soldered it back into this one. So let's just cross fingers and hope it fires up, because I'm really out of ideas, and I have tried every single thing that I can to diagnose this issue. But let's just cross fingers and hopefully it fires up. So let's take a look. I got my battery charger on there, because this battery is shit. This light really bad. So I got my battery charger on there just to fire it up, and I got the Modest Edge also rolling, so I can see all my parameters. And right away, what I saw was my so yesterday, I don't know if you guys can see it, but anyways, let me roll up a little bit. So yesterday, my coolant temp sensor was reading -40. So that led me to believe there was some issue going on with the wiring. So that's why I ran into it and found that wire and that connector. So right now it's back to normal again. So I think she can start. So let's see. The dash, everything looks good. There's no checking. Well, there's some checking light, but I believe it's something else. So let's crank it up and pray it fires up. Let me give it a little priming real quick. Get some fuel into it. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Woo! Wow. Hell yeah. I am so stoked it fired up. Let's see what's going on with it. We still got some checking the light, but so far, running a little rough right now. I think it might just be spark plugs. I can feel like a little misfire going on. I believe it just might be a spark plug because I'm still using the old spark plugs just to get it rolling. I think that's it. But other than that, yeah, she is healthy and running.